Long ago, when the world was still young and the winds had not yet learned to whisper secrets, Africa was ruled by a vast silence. The trees swayed without rustling, rivers flowed without gurgling, and even the great lions roared only in dreams. People lived in small groups, spread across the wide lands, but they had no words to speak to one another, only gestures, grunts, and the language of the eyes. In the heart of the land, where the sky kissed the mountains and the rivers sang in silence, there lived a woman named Maama Nia. Her eyes were like dusk after rain, calm but knowing, and her hands, though wrinkled with age, moved with the grace of river water. She lived alone, yet every tribe across the plains respected her. It was said that her spirit could walk with trees and speak to animals in ways even silence understood. One day, a great sorrow fell over the people. A boy from the northern hills had wandered far from his village and met a girl from the southern swamps. They locked eyes across the riverbank, and something stirred between them, curiosity, wonder, maybe even love. But they could not speak. They mimed and smiled and pointed to the stars, but the silence between them stood like a wall. When the boy returned, he wept, not from sadness, but from frustration. He wasn't the only one. The hunters could not warn one another of danger. Mothers could not lull their children to sleep with songs. Elders could not pass down stories. The people, though alive, were hollow. So they traveled from all corners, north, east, west, and south, and gathered before Maama Nia, asking the same question in 100 gestures. How do we give voice to the heart? Maama Nia sat in the middle of the gathering, a great fire crackling before her, as the stars blinked in the sky like ancient eyes. For a long time, she said nothing. Then she reached behind her and lifted a pair of ancient drums, once carved from the trunk of the whispering tree and stretched with the hide of a buffalo born during eclipse. She placed one drum in front of her and said her first word in a voice so ancient, even the wind paused to listen. Duma. It echoed like thunder across the land. The people gasped. They'd never heard a word before. It wasn't a grunt or a cry, it had shape, sound, and soul. Then she struck the drum. Dum. Another word followed. Moji. Moto. Nzuri. Water. Fire. Goodness. With each beat, she birthed a new word. Each tribe listened closely, and slowly, their mouths began to form sounds. The air grew thick with syllables, and the silence, once a ruler, began to shiver and shrink. But Maama Nia did not stop there. She stood and walked among the tribes. To the people of the mountains, she whispered strong words, deep and rolling like thunder. To the desert people, her words danced light and fast, like sand swept in wind. In the coastal lands, her voice flowed like waves, smooth and rhythmic. To the forest dwellers, she sang in chirps and hums, matching the birds that flitted above. Each group began to speak in their own way. Some spoke in tones like flutes, others in clicks like the cracking of firewood, and still others used long phrases that painted pictures in the air. Maama Nia had not given one language, she had given many, shaped like the lands they were born in. But soon, jealousy crept in. The chief of the eastern rocks rose and shouted in his new tongue, "Why do their words sound sweeter than ours?" A woman from the southern plains responded, "No. Yours are harsh like stone. Ours dance like wind. And arguments broke out. Maama Nia struck the drums again, loud and sharp. Silence returned, but this time, it trembled. She spoke only once more. The rain does not fall in only one place. Let words be like rain, falling differently but giving life to all. From that day on, the people scattered across Africa, each taking their own language, shaped by the rhythm Maama Nia had given them. The silence had been broken, but in its place bloomed a garden of voices, each flower different, each scent unique. Even now, when the wind moves through the baobab trees or drums echo in distant villages, the people say it is Maama Nia's spirit walking across the land, listening to the voices she helped create. And so it was that Africa did not speak in one voice, but in thousands. And all of them told the same story, that even silence can be broken when the heart is ready. **